Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, Maiga here. And if you're new here, hi! My name is Maiga Vidal, I'm a musical theater writer, and on this channel I take you through the process of writing a musical from the page all the way to stage. If any of that interests you, please make sure to like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. I'd like to get to 1,500 by the end of the year. Let me know what your favorite thing was about this video, or if you've ever seen a Broadway performer live. Super excited to know, and that I guess that is technically a spoiler for what's coming. And so with that, let's jump straight into the housekeeping. This is a little section I like to do at the front because of the nature of these vlogs. First is that these vlogs are intentionally about a month or more behind due to the nature of my work. And secondly is that these vlogs are about sharing the work in progress and not necessarily a proof of concept. And what I mean by that is that I'm allowed to sort of discover and talk about any avenue that I want to explore in my work in these videos, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make it all the way into the final product. And so with that out of the way, I feel like I've rambled long enough. Let's just jump into the vlog. Hi friends. It is currently 12:42 p.m. I'm heading off to the library. I need to leave out of my apartment at 5:50 to get to the theater at like 6:42, which means I need to be back here by like 5:50, right? So I need to be here by like 5-ish to get ready and then head out. I'm so looking forward to the theater, but also I'm stressed because I need to finish the scene because I'm already a day behind schedule, but also, more importantly, I have to fill my fucking water and make my coffee. I'm ready to leave, but I'm not even done. Let me sit you down. I need to make my coffee. What am I doing? I need to fill my water bottle. This is such a flattering angle, don't you know? Also, I haven't edited my vlog, so that's also behind. I also have work. I got 70% of it done yesterday. So I just have a lot on my plate. And the thing is that I've been focusing on writing, which is what I need to be doing. But this is a companion piece to my writing because I love going back and watching this. Even if I do take notes, if I say it to you, then it's probably important. I'm still really stressed about it because it should have been done by now. If I'm having trouble finishing this scene, how do I expect to finish the rest of the act in the timeline that I got going? Because I've never written those scenes outside of heavily outlined them. And so it's we're at the point now where it's the outline is turning into real dialogue. I watched this video, it was so compelling. Café con Leche has been around for 2 years, but really it's had its first public performance this year. So sometimes it feels like nothing has happened. And the way that I've combated that feeling is by having these vlogs. It's yeah, things are happening. The writing process, which you cannot rush. He was talking about how during the development of his musical, which he fast drafted in about 6 months and developed and workshopped with friends, there was about a 2-year-ish period where he wasn't really doing anything. There wasn't any major updates in terms of development. And it's yeah, because I was writing. And that felt really motivating to someone who really enjoys and hates and is miserable while writing. So it felt good to know that other writers are in the trenches, especially because I feel the kind of writing that I post is so niche, especially in the writing community here, which has taken me in, and I really appreciate. All right, well, enough about that. I'm starting to get overwhelmed, which I'm trying to avoid, but that's the issue with picking up the pace. Also, I'm wearing this because it's so hot and it is not making me feel less hot. Okay, see you at the library. Currently 5:35. I have to leave in about 15 minutes. This is the outfit I'm wearing. It's just a dress. It's not the most theatery dress, but it's the only dress that I can force myself to wear right now because it is still so hot. And it's also gonna rain in the next hour, which is just a lot. New York is so interesting because I don't really have a bag if that makes any sense. Like, I don't have a going out bag. I have a lot of like functional totes, and I can bring anything to the theater that I want, but I don't want to take stuff that I might lose. So I'm taking just like my crossover that I'm gonna wear over my chest, and then my book that I'm gonna be reading. I got it for free at the library. I don't want to lose it, but if I do, I won't be devastated. But it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain and thunder for the next 2 hours. So that means I also have to bring my umbrella, because like I'm gonna be in the theater, so I don't want to get wet and bring that into it. So it's just, I don't quite know what to do. So I'm gonna wing it. What else am I supposed to do? I don't really have a way to show you because I don't have a mirror, but here is the full fit. And I'm gonna be wearing sneakers. I think I'm gonna be wearing my Converse probably, because like I have to walk still. This is one of the things that I bought at Target. It was on clearance, so that's why I got it. I went to the library, as you saw. I finished writing the scene at what cost. I think I wrote 1,176 words, but scene 7 is done. And officially, as of tomorrow, we are in completely new territory. Have I outlined this story to death? Yes. Is outlining different than scene writing? I'm also finding that yes, because even though I know I want certain beats in there or certain moments, I have to build those moments through dialogue and connection and movement. And so it's kind of hard. But I saw this photo by the writer of In the Heights, and I was like, yes, I feel so seen. Anyway, let's go to the theater. Okay, the book is here, so you know what that means. It's editing Maiga time. Now, I don't normally like to interrupt my own vlogs because they're very much a capture of the past and what I was going through. But here, let me play you a bit of the clip that I'm going to be replacing with editing me. Hi friends, it is currently 1:52. I'm heading to meet my friend Ryan. As you can tell, the sound is absolutely atrocious. At that point, I hadn't gotten an AC yet. I don't know if you can actually hear it going on faintly in the background of this video, but there is indeed a taco truck right in front of me that has like this old school generator that makes so much noise every night, and it is honestly horrible. But I was recording in front of it at the time because of the lighting, and I didn't realize it would be picked up pretty much over everything. And now, of course, as I'm talking, it's like getting louder than ever. So I've decided to come in here and make it a pleasurable sound experience, because in listening to it, I literally wanted to die. With that in mind, here are the things that I talked about, which are so sad because I was so excited and in the moment and really reflecting. And so now I'm essentially giving you a Spark Notes version, but I promise feelings remain the same. First thing is that I went to see Nico's shows at Latine Lab. It was 4 shows, but Como Correr, which was Nico's show, opened, and it was amazing. I love the I Want song, which is titled Como Correr, and I just need Nico to finish Act 2, like desperately. The second show I saw was Divergentes, which I just absolutely adored because it talked about a very Chilean, it's a very Chilean piece of musical theater. It was all in Spanish, which meant the subtitles, but oh my goodness. Are they racing down here? I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so Divergentes is a Chilean musical. It is written in Spanish, and it was amazing. Talk about like a niche piece of art form, which is musical theater. And then like Chile has such a small population as well. So it's like, what are the odds of 2 Chilean shows, like mine in March and theirs in July? Like, what are the odds, right? So I found that to be super moving. I obviously loved the show, but also I had the pleasure of speaking to one of the writers. His name is Pablo, and he's actually the first Chilean person to go to NYU for grad school, the one that I'm going to. So it was like, whoa, here's someone who literally opened the way for me. Like completely different experiences, like in terms of like they grew up in Chile and I grew up here, but there is that feeling of like kinship and being able to meet the majority Chilean team and the director, and who are all from Chile as well. So it's like I have somehow gotten closer to Chile and New York than I had ever expected. Then I saw the third show, which is Zabala Zabala. That show made me cry a lot. Like, I cannot overstate the emotion behind it. It was a musical theater slash more like leaning towards an opera piece. It talks about this grandma whose grandson was lost by ice, essentially, and they've never been able to find him again. The perspective of the show comes from the lawyer who essentially failed to reconnect this family, and it is haunting. And having this little boy sing about being a hummingbird, but then hearing that in Spanish, boy, it's one of those things that just really hits you. Not to mention, like, again, I had the privilege of speaking to pretty much all the writing teams of this, and Anna is the woman who wrote the lyrics for this. She is so freaking cool. She's a professor. Just two things that are just so amazing. First is that, like, she's the official translator of a Chilean poet called Zurita, and I love his work very much. Like, Chileans and poetry were it's sort of the thing. So, you know, having a book by Zurita in my library and then opening it up and being like, oh, this is the woman who translated his work, it's like insane to me. But also, she is super cool and bought me my first ever pisco sour, which is a Chilean cocktail. You can't normally get them everywhere because, like, who has pisco? It's like a very like Chilean Peruvian type of liquor, but we're in New York City, so we were able to get it, and she bought me my first one, and it was amazing, and I got to share it with them, and it was so freaking cool. And then the last show of the set was Siluetas, and that's the one that was the closer and you saw the curtain call of. That was the one that KO, aka Karen Olivo, was in, and they were amazing. Their voice is so powerful, and the theater is so intimate. It was like, damn, you really got to hear them sing. It was just an amazing experience. It was a packed house too. This was a very political set of 4 shows. Even Como Correr, which was like a rom-com, was still super political and set in Florida, and like a lot of the shows dealt with like 2016 and immigration. That's very like important political themes, and seeing KO in a show like that after Moulin Rouge is like such a departure, but also like such an important piece of work that she can like bring eyes to. It's just incredible, and I'm very excited for that show. I think it's having a developmental thing in the summer in Pennsylvania that I'm probably going to try and go catch. And as I was talking to other people, the stage door, KO and I ended up bumping into each other, and you know, they were so sweet, and I apologized, and they were so down to earth and so chill. And I was talking to Daniel, who is a dramaturg at the lab, and you know, we're friends, and I was just like, oh my god, I almost KO'd KO. And he was like, why are you like the second person to make this joke? And I was like, here, I thought I was original. Anyway, I just want to say, and this was really important in the clip, and I want to add it here, is that watching this really like re-inspired me. It filled the well, and it really motivated me to keep writing, because seeing like pieces of work at that level only makes me want to, you know, get there one day. So, you know, now that we've caught up with what happened the day before, I recorded this clip because I was actually on my way to meet with a friend, Ryan, aka producer Ryan. We were gonna meet at the Drama Bookshop. It's one of those things where it's just like you talk online all the time, and all of a sudden, like, you get to meet in person. But I don't want to spoil too much, because editing Maiga does come from the future, and she does know how it works out. But me at that point did not. So let's jump back to her. After much bullying from Max and Rochelle, we finally decided to buy an AC because we're dying in this heat. But Rochelle is the smart one out of the two of us. Oh, great! And 2 pieces fell out, and one of the neighbors is gonna help us. You're the best! Thank you so much! Is it cold air? It's cold air! Oh my god, 70 degrees, what a fucking luxury. It's 86 degrees in here right now. Rochelle, what do you think?
I think have AC.
Woo, we can cook now. Yeah. Hi friends, it is currently 10:57 p.m. Totally meant to catch up with you yesterday, but I didn't. Today I meant to write. It'll actually be the first day where I don't write in a while. Anyway, let's catch up. So I went to the drama bookshop with my dear friend Ryan. It was supposed to be sort of this writing thing because I was gonna try and attempt to write scene 8. Actually, this gives me a good time to figure out how many words I wrote yesterday. So we talked for a while, like 2-ish hours, and then he had to go to Shakespeare in the Park and I had a date with my husband. So it ended up working out. So we hung out. I wrote for about an hour and a half and some change, and then I got home, had the date. It was great. It's one of those things where you're just like really thankful for things working out. I love the drama bookshop so much. I actually wrote a significant amount of scene 8. So my biggest issue right now with scene 8 is that the first scene with Rosa and Joaquin on their own, which means they don't have to speak English. And so how do I convey what I want to convey when the scene isn't going to be primarily expressed in English and my audience is going to be American for this musical? Obviously, that's a bridge that I'm going to cross when I get there. But what I am doing during the drafting process is that I'm writing the scene in English, because even though I write in Spanish, I can draft faster in English because I know how these characters speak, and the way that I want them to speak in Spanish is a bit more like old school, the way that like my parents would speak, and so I have to think about it in a different way. But I wrote, according to this Google Doc that I'm just using to calculate the words because I'm writing on my notes app, I wrote 4 pages, but let's see how many words I wrote. All right, yesterday in about an hour and some change, I wrote 1,192 words for scene 8. I would say that right now I am about to head into the song, and I can feel the progression sort of naturally happening. It's been one of these scenes that I have been thinking about for a long time, and finally having the opportunity to sit down and write it was great. Also today, we're adding a new pencil to the retired pencil group. I actually think I got this one significantly smaller than my number 1 pencil. Here's number 1. Writing with this pencil at this length really hurt me, and with this one I found a way to write with it that didn't hurt as much, but it made my writing too sloppy, and I already write in cursive primarily, so it just wasn't conducive to me doing that. So this is now pencil 2 of the year, so 2 pencils down, however many more to go. But that also means, and you saw it yesterday, I had the opportunity to buy a pencil because I ran out, and I bought the only pencil that they had, which is this one I showed yesterday. It's from the drama bookshop. Oh, actually, I realize now that it's flipped when I see it. I wonder how it looks on your end, but then it says Act 1, Scene 1. So I'll be using this one to write. It was very long. It's actually kind of hard to fit into my pencil case. And then last but not least, I ended up buying this little sticker. And so I thought I would put a little drama bookshop sticker so that I get to enjoy it. To wrap it up, I have written more this week in terms of like progress, because I've been sort of being like 1 scene a day instead of 1 page a day, and that has 100% like made the working process a lot faster. I do feel that I am going to finally, for months I've been saying it on here, of finishing Act 1. I do feel like it's within my grasp now. Look at it, it's so cute. And I think the speed that I'm going at is pretty good. I think I was overly ambitious in trying to write a scene every day. I have found that I think it takes me about 2 days to fully flesh out a scene that I haven't written. And with scene 8 being the first scene that I've written from scratch, I think I'm gonna give myself maybe 2 more days of additional work. So I have 1 full day that I wrote, and then now I'm gonna give myself all of Monday tomorrow, and then potentially Tuesday. I'm learning that from everything that I've talked about and all the friends I've talked to this week and all the new friends I've made, that writing Act 2 is really the most difficult part, and I want to avoid that as much as possible, and that's why I'm spending so long on this book. And I think that taking the time now will only help me go forward in the future with all the development and stuff like that that I have in mind for what I want to do with this show. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. Things are getting very serious very fast, in that literally NYU is 45 days from now, and it's like do or die to finish this musical. And I have, today's the 16th, I have 2 weeks left in this month to finish, and I'm going to finish. I'm going to stick to schedule, and I'm just going to commit to the bit. I went grocery shopping today, and I got Tupperware, and just having a roommate who has a car really opens things up. But I think the biggest thing is that after literally 2 weeks of suffering, we have an AC unit in here, and like it's in the living room. It isn't like in my bedroom, but it's still like, it still hits. Like I have the door closed right now, and I have like my little fan still, and the air in the apartment is cooler. Like the average temperature in here was like 80 degrees literally all the time, and I think for the first time I'm going to be able to have like a good night's sleep. So anyway, thank you all for watching the vlogs, and I think by the time you see this, it'll definitely be like the last week of August. So if you want to stay like up to date with what I'm doing in real time, make sure to follow me on my Instagram. I'm posting a lot